Hi there, today I wanted to show you a 5-minute Feldy for the lesson, the Sacral Clock. And it's very similar to the pelvic clock, but it's a little bit smaller, which in Feldenkrais speak means that it's actually bigger. So the sacrum is this little triangular bone that is at the base of your spine, and it connects basically the spine with the pelvis. So just lie on your back and see if you can notice that place that is your sacrum. It's just that little spot between, you have these two SI joints, the sacroiliac joints, and that is, in between that is where the sacrum is. So imagine that you have a clock on your sacrum, and 12 o'clock is towards your head, and 6 o'clock is towards your feet, and 3 o'clock is on your left side and 9 o'clock is on your right side. So this is clockwise. So just begin by taking your sacrum a little bit towards 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. And if it's more comfortable for you, you can bring your feet up to standing. It might be a little bit easier to start out. And so just do this really tiny movement. You're just going between 12 o'clock, you're pressing at the top of the sacrum, and then at 6 o'clock, you're pressing towards the tailbone. And just back and forth. So once you get this, you find your sacrum and you find this movement. Notice what else may be happening throughout you. Notice if there's any places where you're holding unnecessary tension, like holding your breath, or maybe holding extra tension in your chest or your jaw. And see if you can let go of that tension and just let the movement become easier. And then start to notice how the movement is moving through you. Can you notice how when you press downward, that maybe your chin wants to come down a little bit? And when you press upward towards 12 o'clock, your chin goes up a little bit. And for some of you, who haven't done this for a long time, your head may not be moving, and that's okay, because what we're trying to find are the places where we're stuck. And so when you find a place where you're stuck, that's actually good news. So go ahead and just let your head move with the movement of the sacrum, and you can kind of prime the pump and suggest to the nervous system that it might want that connection. So pause, and now go between 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. And again, you're just pressing on the sides of the sacrum. So you're keeping this movement really, really small. And again, notice where you may be holding tension, holding your breath. And then notice how it's moving through you. I can feel my knees moving. I can feel my head moving side to side a little bit. And if your head isn't moving from side to side, see if you can release your neck and feel that connection. It maybe the head wants to go in the same direction as the pelvis, or maybe it wants to go opposite. And just do either one that feels comfortable. And then pause and rest for just a moment. And start to notice yourself again in sitting or in lying down. What does your sacrum feel like on the floor now? Is there more space under your lumbar? Is there less? Is it lying flatter? It could be either way. Now bring your feet back up to standing and take your sacrum in a circle around the clock. So you start at 12 and you go over to 3 in an arc, and it's just as circular an arc as you can manage right now. And a circular arc down to 6 o'clock, and then a circular arc to the 9 o'clock side of the sacrum, and then up to 12. And just do this tiny little circle, this tiny little clock, on your sacrum. And then notice where you're holding tension that maybe you can let go of. And then notice how the movement is moving through you. Now, if the movement is getting stuck somewhere up in your chest, your head is probably not going to move as well. So go ahead and let your head move, maybe in a clockwise direction. Notice your knees and your feet, how this movement of the pelvis is affecting them. They want to move with this movement too. And then change directions. And this is a movement that you could do every morning to get started on your day, every evening to wind down from the day. And this will really help. It's movements like this that I credit with getting rid of the arthritis that was in my lower back. So this is an excellent movement, and making yourself keep it small by only going around your sacrum and not getting any bigger. In fact, see if you can make it smaller. And just notice the quality of the movement. Can you make it rounder? There may be some little places where you have little change directions, where you have little hiccups, little jumps, and just go slower through those places. Those are places where you don't have a good brain map of this movement with the sacrum, and slowing it down will allow the nervous system to make the recording that it needs to make the movement more efficient all by itself. So now when you're done with this, let your legs go. And if you wanted to, you can even see if you can do tiny little circles with your legs long. And because this is harder to do with your legs long, do not try and make it as big as it was before. Make it smaller and change directions whenever you want to, rest whenever you want to. And you might notice that you can get your feet to help you with this movement. If you do circles with your feet, it will release a lot of this tension in the pelvis, and you can let this movement will be a little bit easier. And notice if there's any movement in your head. And then let it all go and rest for a moment. And then come on up to sitting and enjoy your day.